In today's class, we will study about the interrogative pronoun, the second interrogative pronoun, whose, that indicate an object, and this object belongs to a subject that the speaker intends to know from the interrogative clause. An interrogative pronoun whose indicates a belonging of a subject. The speaker intends to know about this subject. The speaker applies the interrogative pronoun whose in an interrogative clause to figure out the subject of the belonging. Every creation of the One only belongs to the One, who is our spiritual father in a direct or indirect way. So the subject of every creation is considered Jesus Christ, who reveals to be the Son, the only Son of the One. We can also understand the phenomenon that the possessive pronoun to indicate a belonging of a person as a subject is only accepted. A thing does not have the other thing. Only a person can hold and have a thing. A relative determiner whose is able to indicate a subject that is not a person because the subject is considered to belong to another person unstated, who is Jesus Christ. This is about relative determiner, the other application of the word whose as the relative determiner whose that links the subordinate clause to the main clause. In this case, whose can indicate a thing. This means whose, this means a thing belongs to the other thing in a main clause because this is true because the other thing is stated to be a belonging of a person in the main clause. So we can understand the relationship of the indirect belonging. This relative determiner whose is able to reveal the belonging of Jesus Christ in an indirect way. There is an example, I ate a bowl of salad whose taste is great. In this sentence, the relative determiner whose links the phrase of the relative determiner whose taste to the main clause. Because a bowl of salad, especially the word salad, is common in the subordinate clause and the main clause. Then, in this case, the object indicated by the relative determiner is, in this case, the object taste belongs to a subject, salad, in the main clause, which is not a person, but we admit that this salad, this precedent belongs to the speaker, who is a person. You can see the indirect belonging. The possessive determiner whose indicates the object salad that is not a person. The belonging of the object taste is not a person, but the two objects are considered to belong to Jesus Christ. From now on, we will study about 5 examples of the interrogative pronoun whose. So first one is this. Whose are these? In this class, the interrogative pronoun whose is applied as the subjective complement to define the subject. In the second example, whose sends you a message, the interrogative pronoun whose has the role of the subject who actualizes the definition of the transitive verb send. In the third example, whose do you like? The interrogative pronoun whose has the role of the object to receive the definition of the transitive verb like from the listeners as the subject. In the fourth example, whose do you eat? The interrogative pronoun whose has the role of the object to receive the definition of the transitive verb eat from the subject who are the listeners, just like the third example, but there will be some difference. In the fifth example, the be verb is applied. The interrogative pronoun whose is applied as the subjective complement to define the subject this. In the first example is like this. Whose are these? The subject that the interrogative pronoun whose indicates in this interrogative clause are the belongings of a subject. The speaker defines the subject these of the be verb are with the subject indicated by the interrogative pronoun whose to practice the role as a subjective complement. This interrogative clause is stated in the second type of clause constituted with the subjective complement whose, the intransitive verb be verb are, and the subject these. The subject these reveal the 3 premises that the number of the subject is plural, and the subjects are close to the speaker and do not participate in the conversation with the speaker. The form of the be verb are reveals the premise that the number of the subject is plural, or the subject participates in the conversation with the speaker. The indicative pronoun these indicates subject, defined by the subjective complement whose, to reveal that the subject belongs to a person. The speaker intends to know about the subject that these belong to. From the premises that the speaker applies, also we can understand that the interrogative pronoun indicates the subject these, but the speaker intends to know about who the subject belong to. From the premises that the speaker applies the interrogative pronoun whose, the indicative pronoun these, and the be verb are, we can infer the 4 pieces of information about the subject. The first one is this. The subject indicated by the interrogative pronoun whose belong to a person. Number 2, the number of the subject is plural according to the form of the subject and the form of the be verb. The subjects do not participate in the conversation with the speaker. 4, the subjects are close to the speaker by the application of the indicative pronoun these. The first possible response is this. These are his. The possessive pronoun his is applied as the subjective complement. This tells us that these that are the subject of this clause belong to a man who does not participate in the conversation with the speaker and the listeners. The speaker signifies that the subject with which the object indicated by the possessive pronoun his belong to is a male who does not participate in the conversation with the speaker. The speaker applies the possessive pronoun his as a response to an interrogative clause stated with the interrogative pronoun whose, because the possessive pronoun connotes that the object indicated belongs to a subject that is a person. The second example is this: whose sends you a message. We can understand that a person can belong to the other person. So the speaker intends to indicate the person, a person, but the speaker intends to know who the person belongs to. The speaker indicates the subject of the action indicated by the transitive verb send with the interrogative pronoun whose to signify that the subject of the action belongs to another subject that the speaker intends to know. Thank you for watching.